In this video again I am going to discuss how to find out domain and range of some special type of function. So first function, if I will take 1 divided by root over of x square minus 4. So what is going to happen here? X square minus 4 will be greater than 0. As I said, 1 divided by root over of something should be greater than 0 because it cannot be equals to 0 and under root we can't have negative term. So from there can we write x minus 2 into x minus of minus 2 is greater than 0. So x greater than 2 or x less than minus 2. So domain of this function will be minus infinity to minus 2 union 2 to infinity. How these things are coming, for there I just gave one link in the description box, just check that. So for range, if y equals to 1 divided by root over of x square minus 4, so if I cross multiply, if I square them, I will get this thing. So from there can you write that y square x square is equals to 1 plus 4y square. So x square is 1 plus 4y square divided by y square. Now check what is going to happen here. As I know that x square is greater than equals to 0, so 4y square plus 1 divided by y square, that should be greater than equals to 0. Now check the numerator. Numerator is 4y square plus 1. Y square we know always greater than equals to 0, so my denominator is always greater than equals to 0. But denominator, as it is in the denominator, we should consider it only greater than 0. Now 4y square again greater than equals to 0, multiplying by 4. So 4y square plus 1 is greater than equals to 1, right? So denominator and numerator, both the cases, these things are positive, or rather non-negative term. So their division will be greater than equals to 0 for all y, right? But what was y? Y was positive square root function. So value of y should be greater than equals to 0. That thing. Second thing is what y square is there in the denominator. So y cannot be equals to 0 also. This type of thing we have to be careful. For all y, this function is valid. Now if I write it properly, for all y this function is valid. Next case will happen as y is square root function. Y is square root function, so y will be greater than equals to 0. Again, as y is in denominator, y is in denominator, so y is not equals to 0. So ultimately y will be only greater than 0. Please be careful about this kind of thing. So what is going to happen? The range of this function ultimately will be 0 to infinity. So here I have discussed 1 divided by root over of x square minus 4. Now we will discuss 1 divided by root over of x square plus 4. So x square plus 4 will be greater than 0, which is always true because x square is greater than equals to 0. So x square plus 4 is ultimately greater than equals to 4. So this is true for all real x, right? So domain of this function will be all real number. Now for range, again y equals to 1 divided by this. So if I will cross multiply, x square y square plus 4y square equals to 1. So x square y square equals to 1 minus 4y square. So if I just write it directly, so my x square will be 1 minus 4y square divided by y square. What is my x square? We know that x square is always greater than equals to 0. From here can we write y not equals to 0, first case. Second case, at x square is greater than equals to 0, so 1 minus 4y square divided by y square should be greater than equals to 0. Now 1 minus, if I will divide by minus sign, 4y square minus 1 divided by y square, it is always less than equals to 0. Now in this case, just check what is y square. It's a positive term. So as y square is positive, in this fraction the denominator is positive. So to get this fraction negative, we need this fraction to be negative. Denominator is always positive. So my numerator should be negative. Then only if I will divide negative by positive, then I will get negative terms. So if I will divide this, so can we write that 4y square minus 1 is less than equals to 0? So y square minus 1 by 4 less than equals to 0. So y is in between half and minus half. But what is y? Y is positive square root function. So after this we will write y is square root function. So as y is square root function, what we can write? Y is greater than equals to 0. What I can write from here? Y is not equals to 0. So ultimately what will be the range of this function? Range of this function will be 0 to half. Is it fine? So I've discussed 1 divided by x root over x square plus 4. In the next one I'm going to discuss 1 divided by root over 4 minus x square. So first I'm going to take 4 minus x square is equals not equals to 0. Sorry, not equals to 0. I'm going to write 4 minus x square greater than 0. So x square minus 4 will be less than 0. So value of x will lie in between minus 2 and 2, which is the domain of the function. Just check the description box how these things are coming. I have just added one video there, so please do check it. So domain of the function. Now for range I will take y equals to 1 divided by this. So square root function again is there, so please be very careful. So x square y square equals to 1. So 4y square minus 1 divided by y square equals to x square. Now, what is x square? Greater than equals to 0, positive square root. So can we write 4y square minus 1 divided by y square is greater than equals to 0. What is denominator? Y square, which will be always greater than equals to 0. So can we write only my numerator has to be positive for this. So y square minus 1 by 4 is greater than equals to 0. From there what we can write that y minus half minus half is greater than equals to 0. So that means y is greater than equals to half or y is less than equals to minus half. But what is y? Y is again positive square root function. Y is positive square root function. And from there what is y? Y is in the denominator, so y is not equals to 0. So as y is square root function, from there can we write that y is greater than equals to 0. So which two of these satisfying this? That is y greater than equals to half. So range of the function is half to infinity. Hope all of you understood. Don't worry, more videos are coming for domain and range. Please do check it properly and just write in the comment box if there is any problem. Thank you.